I am on.
Sally, thanks for doing this twice. All right, I'm ready.
All right. Hello, my name is Jason Shoemaker. I am the Strategic Account Project Manager for LED's remote monitoring business, which includes now Insight as well as SmartView wireless monitoring systems. So, what we're going to cover today is we're going to go through a brief audience quiz. I'm going to quiz you and see what you've retained from previous presentations, as well as just a fun quiz question for you. So then we're going to jump into a basic overview of this new Insight system that Thermo Fisher is now presenting to the customers. We're going to compare the Insight system to the SmartView wireless monitoring system, so you have an understanding of both systems and where to position each. Target customers for each systems as well. And then we'll go through an example of the pricing, and then lastly we're going to cover some sales tools and some training that is available to you as sales reps. So first, this is going to go back to this morning from Karen's presentation. How much energy do you think a single ULT uses in a day? I hope you all know the answers. So here are your choices. Let me see a show of hands. A, hot tub. What do you think? No? How about C? No? D? Anybody? B. There we go. All right, you paid attention. And just as a side note, what is the new TSX? How much energy does that use per day? 8.7. There you go. Good job, Eric. See, Karen? Everybody paid attention. Good job. All right, so B is the correct answer. It uses about the same amount as a house. It's a fixer-upper. It's a fixer-upper. My wife would say just a little paint, new windows maybe. We'll see what we can do. So, let me jump back here actually, I'm sorry. With this information, do you think your customers know how much their ULTs are using? I would say no. Anybody have any idea? No? Most people would say no. The customers probably do not know. So next question here. If you could know ahead of time that your car was going to break down, what would you do about it? Now this is obviously, I think that guy knew that was coming. So if it were me, I would probably take it to a shop, call service, do something proactively to prevent the breakdown. Well, again, most customers, they don't know their unit is about to break down. They don't know that there's a potential failure coming because they don't typically call service ahead of time. They do it retroactively or reactively. There's no proactivity there. So that's where our new system that Thermo Fisher has announced recently went live October 2nd. It is Insight Analytics. It is a EKG, essentially, for your ULT or cold storage product line. So what you have with this system, it is a wireless system that can do basic temperature monitoring, but alongside that, we have additional sensors that you can monitor your energy consumption. And with this data, the data analytics part of the software, you can actually benchmark your reliability of your equipment, so you know how it compares to your other equipment. You can compare the repairs before and after and determine if that repair was actually effective or not. And then you can also trend your equipment and see long term, how's it operating? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? You'll have that data right in front of you. So all of this combined goes down to the financial performance. You can make budgetary decisions based on this information. You know that, hey, after 5 or 7 years, the units start to fail, you start to have additional repairs to them. You can proactively budget for that. So it makes managing the budget a lot easier. So on the software analytics side, it is a cloud-based system that is new to Thermo Fisher Scientific. And with this cloud-based system, you can see trends of equipment. You can create study groups to compare multiple pieces of equipment together. And then you can also evaluate the energy consumption of the equipment. Now, with this, you get a temperature sensor, you have an amperage current transducer, and also an ambient temperature sensor and a door switch. Here's an example of the software. When you first log in, instantly you'll see here that, hey, these are yellow and this one's red. That means that there's a problem with that unit or a potential problem with that unit. There's high on time. That means that compressor is running all the time. That's a problem. It's notifying you instantly. In addition to this, it can actually send you an email or a daily report. So every day you get a report. Okay, you have 233 alarms this month. What's going on? That's a lot of alarms. Currently, you have 18 units that are offline. Well, we need to take action. So every single day, you'll have that report right in your inbox first thing in the morning. And here's an example of an alarm. The system can alert you via email, via text message, and via telephone alert to let you know that, hey, there's a problem. There's a freezer or a refrigerator out of range. From this alarm directly, you can select these links and they'll take you directly to the software where you can acknowledge the alarm. And the greatest thing, this is, again, it's cloud-based. Anywhere in the world that you have an internet connection, you can manage your system and you can monitor your equipment. So here's the basic components of the hardware kit. We have what we call the moat, which is the brains of the package. Everything else you see here plugs into that and is managed that as a Wi-Fi or a 915 megahertz component. You can select at the time of purchase which you would like to use. You have a current transducer that will attach to around a wire within the machine compartment of your equipment, and it would monitor your energy consumption. Door switch, so you'll see how often and for how long the doors have been opened on your equipment. And then lastly, an RTD sensor, which naturally will tell you the inside temperature of your refrigerator or freezer. So, Insight versus SmartView, what is the difference? Here's a small chart to compare them. First of all, Insight is a cloud-based software package, whereas SmartView is an a client-server architecture. Insight can be Wi-Fi, utilize your in-house Wi-Fi system, or 915 megahertz. SmartView is 915 only. Insight can monitor, at this time, cold storage products only, refrigerators, freezers, etc. Whereas for SmartView, they can monitor CO2, dry contacts, 420 milliamp adapters, etc. Wide variety of products. Now, the big differences here that are going to determine what your customers purchase is this next line is Insight currently is not a 21 CFR Part 11 compliant system, whereas SmartView is. So for a lot of your GMP or GLP facilities, they're going to opt for the SmartView package at this time. We are working towards that compliance and hope to have that done soon. The next component is Insight. Since it is a cloud-based product, there is an annual subscription that is required for each moat package. With SmartView, there is no annual subscription. You own the computer equipment. You have to manage that yourselves. And then lastly, Linux only operating system for Insight, whereas SmartView is Windows only. Target customers. So this is where you get down to the nitty gritty. Obviously both have a long history of they can go either way, really. But the Insight product, to really get the value out of this product line, is you need to have a large install base. So your large pharma, your biorepository, your biotech firms, that's going to be your ideal target customer. We are working to create a package that's ideal for academic accounts, and once that's launched, you'll have communication about that as well. SmartView, just about any research lab, hospital, blood bank, IVF clinics. It could be a really small startup company. That would be the ideal situation for SmartView. The major component here is with the Insight is naturally the energy savings. So your influencers that you're going to target is going to be the C-suite. You're going to be talking to the people that want to see what can this do? How can this save me money? Whereas the SmartView, the lab managers, the QA department, they're going to dictate, I need something to monitor my equipment. That's all they're going to really care about. Pricing. Here's an example of the pricing. So as you walk through, obviously, these are all list prices, and you'll see, this is the bottom line. Okay, that's quite expensive. But average turnaround and return on investment is about 2.5 years for large installations. So another thing that you as a sales rep can actually sell year 2, year 3, year 4 subscriptions up front, and you have this recurring revenue stream built right into this software package. Channels naturally get a 35% discount on hardware and 10% discount on service right now. Currently, we have inventory in stock in Charlotte. In the warehouse, we have 10-day lead time on purchases. ULS has factory trained FSCs in each region already. They're ready to hit the ground running. They've participated in a large installation in California already. The technical service team has been trained, is up to date, and there's an escalation process in place for to the vendor for additional tech support. Lastly, on Cool Tools for cold storage, there is a sales brochure, customer presentation, and also a brain chart available for you to review.